and we have an exciting program that includes Denny Corby as our entertainment. Denny is a very talented and kind of a rising star in the world of magic and illusion, and actually he'll be appearing on a national television show on the 30th of September, just days after our dinner event, and that's the show Penn and Teller Fool Us, and it'll be the season finale. So we're excited to have someone who is really becoming very visible as our entertainment that night. Well, let me get to my guest next. I'd like to introduce to you two business members from Sage Search Firm, which is located right on Route 222, Kutztown Road in Fleetwood. And, of course, Sage joined the Chamber. They've been a member almost 1 year. They joined last October of 2018. Today in the studio, I have with me Jamie Lapp, who is the Chief Operating Officer and President of Sage Search Firm, and also Kyle Burrell, who is the CEO and Managing Partner. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. Today we're going to get to know a little bit about you and the history of Sage Search Firm, and talk about staffing in general. So why don't we start with you, Kyle? Tell us a little bit about how the firm started and how long you've been in business.
So the firm was kind of a pop-up sort of venture, as we had talked prior to coming on air. I went through some restructuring personally in my career after 17 years and did recruiting for a different industry, and so did my wife. And just started talking to some friends at a party, and here we kind of are. So, Jamie's got the operations side of things. His wife has the healthcare, and me and my wife have the recruiting background. So we have 70 plus years of experience between the four of us, and we literally were sitting around, I think, Jamie, in my living room one night. We came up with the name, and we thought, why not? Let's give it a try. And we've been LLC'd since end of February of 2017.
Okay.
And we continue to grow. We've grown ever since we started, and we didn't quite know where everything was going to go, but we've established some really good clients and have a lot of very eager candidates, and we're just moving forward.
Well, I love the name of your firm, and I also like your logo, which is the owl, right? The owl eyes. Is that correct or no?
It is, yeah. So yeah, we had some outside help from Jamie's sister, who is a marketing guru, and she kind of came up with our logo. So
yeah, I like it. I think it's very appealing and
yeah.
appropriate. Yes. Jamie, you and I have spoken before on the phone and through some other communications, but we hadn't met in person before. And you were really our first contact at the Northeast Berks Chamber with your membership. So from an operations standpoint, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do on a daily basis?
Daily basis is just staffing, interviewing, reaching out to new potential contacts, candidates, interacting with the client.
And I believe that you have some areas of specialty. What would those be?
Our specialties are healthcare and also industrial and skilled positions.
Now, I noticed when I looked at the website that you are a full-service staffing firm. Both of you can jump in on this. Would you explain a little bit about what that means for your clients? What does it mean to be a full-service firm?
If we look at it from both ends, you look at it from our clients and candidates' perspective. Let's start with the clients first. So clients, from what we find, staffing is a very tedious process. You got to find the right people. You've got to typically phone screen them, interview them, pre-employment drug screening if necessary, background checks if necessary. This is all very time consuming. Mm-hmm. These are all the things that we can offer to our clients. We will take care of doing proactive searching instead of posting and praying, is what we call it. Post the position and pray that somebody applies for it. We will actively go out and use specific types of searching methods to find the right candidates with the right skill sets, characteristics, and all that good stuff. And then we will go through the process of vetting them, phone screening them, And then what we do is we do a formal presentation for our clients. We'll say, Jamie Lapp, here's all of his information. Here's what I got from our phone call. Here's a summary of his education, skill set, experience. And we basically present that all to the client so they don't have to spend time rooting through someone's resume and asking all kinds of questions about the candidate. On the candidate side, it's actually, we make their life easy.
That's nice.
I tell people all the time, your job is very simple as the candidate. You talk to me on the phone, let me do the legwork. I'll act as the liaison between you and the employer. I will present all of your information and you'll officially be applied for the role. And at that point, they'll decide whether they want to move forward with you and interview you or not. And that's kind of the premise that we operate on all the time. I dealt with recruiters for probably the last 20 years, but I was typically either the hiring company or the person utilizing the recruiter to find employment in a specific field. And had some really great experiences, but also had some kind of unpleasant ones, which is why we take the perspective of, or take the approach with our clients and candidates to constantly communicate. I'm going to let someone know. I'm going to give them the good, the bad, the ugly of the situation. A lot of times I've heard people say, I never heard back from the company, or I never heard back from that recruiter. And that's kind of frustrating because you don't know if it's just a slow process or if they're really truly not interested. So we reach out to people. If we get applications or resumes from people, between myself, my wife, Jamie, his wife, we'll reach out within 10 to 15 minutes and we will try and engage that person on the phone. Perfect example, last night got a resume from someone at about 6:15. I was on the phone with him by 6:20, and I have a meeting with him coming up on Monday.
Being responsive means a lot to a candidate, and having those somewhat frequent communications, because as you said, I think over the last 10 years or so, you have less communication from a potential employer when you're applying for a position. And what you said is exactly true. Sometimes it simply means they're not interested, but you have no idea as the candidate. So I think that's really an important point.
Yeah, and if you have a good experience with us, you're going to be very inclined to tell other people. We do a lot of our business through referrals and so forth. But if you have a bad experience, you're going to tell probably twice as many people, and we definitely don't want that. So we've taken a different approach. We've learned a little bit from all the people that we've dealt with in the past, and we've kind of tweaked the things that we maybe didn't like or thought we could do better.
So your clients are probably larger companies. Would that be true to characterize that, or do you work with some mid-sized or smaller ones as well?
Yeah, we have some of the largest employers in the area, and we also have employers that have maybe 20 or 30 employees, and they just don't have the resources on their staff to devote to the time it takes to recruit people properly. It's just like anything, and don't really like cliches, but it's, you get out of it what you put into it. If you devote 10 minutes a day to recruiting, you're going to get probably lower quality people because you just don't have the time to devote to it.
Jamie, were you going to add something?
I just wanted to say, as far as the candidate side, our relationship goes with them forever. We reach out to them on a weekly basis. 3 months, we stay in touch with them. So it's not just here's your job, you're done with, we're done with you. We built that for that reason.
So when we think about, I've even posted employment for the Chamber. We're a very small operation. When you think about a platform like Indeed, for example, are you as staffing professionals right now, this year, for example, have you been in demand? Do you find yourself in demand?
I would say good staffing professionals are
Yes,
in demand.
yes.
Yeah. We have a lot of things we could probably improve on, do a little bit better, but we always look for feedback from our clients and candidates. We've been told things like, you're the best firm we've dealt with since I've been here. Candidates are appreciative of our professional approach with them in terms of, being understanding if they need to reschedule a phone interview. or, if something comes up, we're tolerant to a certain level, but, we have to also meet the demands of our clients as well.
Now, we know that the rate of unemployment is very low right now, about 3.5%. Do you find that there is a talent shortage in certain areas or industries right now?
I really wouldn't say so, at least in the ones that we deal with in healthcare and industrial. It's kind of a buyer's market right now. There's way more vacancies than there are qualified people, especially on the healthcare side. And on the industrial side, you have a lot of people with, quality control experience, welding experience.
CNC robotics,
Yep.
CNC laser.
Yeah, you have a lot of people with a lot of experience, and it's a good problem to have, because now we've got to root through 6 people who are qualified, and we have to find the most qualified.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
Yeah, so but our goal is not to turn people over. I want somebody to stay in a role for months, years to come. Because that's a good feather in our cap if we can provide a really good employee who's happy with the company and that the company's happy with them.
Now, are most of your clients in Berks County, or are you also working with clients outside Berks?
Both.
Majorities in Berks.
Majorities in Berks, yeah. We do have a few branches, let's just say between here and Philly, so like southeastern PA is primarily where we focus. We're both from the area, Jamie and I, so, we didn't want to get too far outside the area. We know the people in the area. We know a lot of the businesses. We know a lot of the business owners. And, we understand the culture of the area, too.
Right.
And what we find is a lot of the businesses in the area, they like to deal with someone who they can meet face to face. They don't want to deal with a recruiter that's in Florida or California or anything like that. And, we're also personal. It's only the 4 of us who run the business. And Jamie and I are, we kind of head it up for the most part. Our wives are instrumentally involved as well. But, they like the fact that we can meet with them in 15 or 20 minutes if we need to. So they like the local feel and that we understand the people locally.
Yeah, exactly. So why don't you let the listeners know how they could get in touch with you if they're interested in looking for a position or a potential client for your firm? What's the best way to communicate with you?
Yeah, so we have our website, www.sagesearchfirm.com. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on LinkedIn.
All of our contact information is on our website.
Everything, email addresses, phone numbers. So it's, we try, and social media is a large animal to tackle. We're not the most savvy with it, but we try on a daily basis. But word of mouth and social media, or come knock on the door of our office.
Well, that sounds great. Well, thanks for being here today. I appreciate your insights and getting to know more about Sage Search Firm. So we'll be back in a couple weeks. And Josh, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, Lori, and thank you for coming on, Jamie and Kyle.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, after that interview, we're going to head to a break, and when we come back, we will have an interview with a representative from Pridefest. Make sure you stick around till after the break. You're listening to the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR.
Email any suggestions to kur@kutztown.edu. Complaints, concerns, questions, whatever you may be thinking at the time, it's kur@kutztown.edu.
And now, another film rental discovery.
Welcome to the Indie Film Minute. Not often enough does a film come our way that through excellence in every element lifts the overall craft of filmmaking to new and surprising heights. Such is Birdman, or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance. Regan Thompson, Michael Keaton, was once a movie star famous for playing the superhero icon Birdman. At the height of his career, he had walked away from the role in search of truer art. But fading from stardom was painful, and now Riggin seeks regained glory by producing and directing a Broadway play. From this conceit rises a monolith, a film that skewers the art world while celebrating its art. It explores the creative process, delves into family dynamics, and reveals the high price paid for stardom, all while leaving us little room to breathe. Director Alejandro Iñárritu's victory over technical challenge is amazing. His entire crew accomplished precise execution and technical excellence with split-second precision, while actors summoned diverse emotions and delivered comical, thought-provoking dialogue to perfection. Birdman, direction at its highest artistry. Not in theaters. Discovery through rental.
We hope you enjoyed the Indie Film Minute. Visit us at indiefilmminute.com to share your thoughts, suggest films, or even to submit your own review.
Listen to KUR every Saturday night from 10 to midnight Eastern Time for the Cat Beast Radio Show. Explore the world with Angie Dorn as she plays the best in punk, rock, and surf. Hear it here on www.kutztown.edu/KUR. KUR, the radio voice of Kutztown University.
You're listening to the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR. My name is Mike Regensberger. We're in the studio. This is Kutztown Live, and I am your guest host for this segment. We'll be back with your regular hosts in just a little bit. But right now, I'd like to introduce somebody to you who's going to talk about Pridefest happening on campus very soon. You want to introduce yourself, sir? Take it away.
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Braden Hudak, and I am the president of the Student Government Board here at Kutztown University.
Okay, and you've been president for what, about a year?
This is my second year.
I was just thinking, your second year, second term, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so you are helping organize a pretty big event on campus. Talk a little bit about Pridefest.
Sure. Pridefest began as a concept about a year ago. The idea was formed from student leaders on campus, and the ball really never got rolling on it, but it was something that I thought was just a great idea, and something that I was surprised that the university hasn't done already in the past. So I had spoken with some other student leaders from other organizations like Allies and Diversity Council, and they really liked the idea. They needed someone to take action to get the ball moving. So as a gay man, I was invested in the idea. I think it's something that the university should be doing every year.
Absolutely.
So I decided to take the lead and form an ad hoc committee through student government, and then work with other student leaders from various organizations to get the event together.
Fantastic.
So we do have a date officially. It is next week. Everything is finally finalized. It's been a lot of work, a lot of meetings throughout the summer with a large group of students. But we're really excited about it. It's going to be next Thursday, September 12th, from 3 to 6 p.m. on the DMZ on the south side of campus.
Okay. So walk us through next Thursday, September 12th, DMZ, south side of campus. What's going to be there?
Absolutely. So we're going to kick off the event at 3 p.m. It's going to begin with a walk of unity around the DMZ.
Nice.
So any student that wants to participate, we're going to have free T-shirts that we'll be giving out. It's on a first-come, first-served basis. So the first students to arrive, they'll put the T-shirt on, and we will take a walk of unity together around that side of campus. And from there, it's just going to be a celebration. We're going to have student speakers, an obstacle course. Over 20 different student organizations will be there. Everyone's bringing fruit and their promotion items to interact with students. We'll have some readas, promo giveaways, student performers. Dr. Hawkinson will be speaking. And we'll also have drag queen performances, which we're really excited about.
So this is all student, pretty much all student formulated.
Correct, yeah.
You going to have any like speakers or anybody from the outside coming in to talk? Or
no one from the outside.
Okay.
But we will have the drag queens, which we're very excited about. So they're going to do a little performance for us, and then they'll be interacting with students and sharing their personal experiences. But mainly it's centered for LGBTQ appreciation here on campus. So members of the community from Kutztown, they'll be sharing their stories, and then other leaders from across campus will be speaking as well.
Awesome. So I think you had implied this. You're looking to make this possibly a yearly event?
Absolutely.
Okay. So that'll be like your legacy that you help keep this going?
Yeah, it'll be our legacy, the joint effort between these different organizations. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think that it was important for us now to start it and to get the money together to fund this, and then I'm hoping that this will become an annual event. I'd love to look back. I'm a senior this year, so I'll be graduating, but I'd love to look back in a few years and see that the students here on this campus have continued to work on this event, and that it becomes set in stone every fall semester, something that members of our community can look forward to.
And maybe even bigger, maybe
hope
an all-day
I
event
hope
or
so.
a couple-day event or
I
something
hope
like
so.
that.
Absolutely.
That's really awesome. So it's on the DMZ. I know that this time of year it's always, riskier weather. Do you have like a backup rain location just in case?
We do not have a backup rain
Okay.
location, but we do have a backup date and have worked contracts out with some of the vendors. So crossing
Let's
our
just cross that.
fingers.
We'll worry about
we're
that when we
hoping
get
not
to it,
for
right.
rain.
Yeah.
But right now it's looking like it'll be a nice day, and please everyone come out and support. It'll be a very good time. A lot of people have worked very hard for this. So
Sure. So just more of a philosophical question. Why do you think it's important for a university like KU to do something like this? I know we pride ourselves in being one of the more GLBT friendly campuses in the state system. So like you said, it's almost kind of obvious that we should be doing this kind of thing. Why do you think this is so important?
I think we do have. In the state system, we are one of the more diverse student bodies.
Right.
So it's really important for every group to be celebrated in their own way. And with it being the 50th year of the Stonewall riots, I think it's a great time for this campus to start this event.
Good stuff. Just for anybody looking for more information, I'm sure you have like a Facebook page, Instagram. You want to share that information now?
Yep, you can find the Pridefest Facebook page through the Women and LGBTQ Center Facebook. Posters will be going out this week, and it'll be in the Daily Brief coming up. So just keep your ears open, and you'll see us on the DMZ, and it'll be a little party. So please come celebrate with us.
So once again, Thursday, September 12th,
yes,
3 to 6 p.m., DMZ. Be there.
Please come out and support. We're looking forward to it.
All right, Braden, president of Student Government Board and one of the organizers to this great event. I want to thank you so much for coming in and taking a few minutes out of your busy day to talk to us.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, we'll be back with more Kutztown Live right after this. Programming on KUR provided in part by the Northeast Berks Chamber of Commerce, 610-683-8860. Your weather forecast here on KUR provided in part by the National Weather Service. Saturday, September 7th, mostly sunny with a high of 76, light northwest winds. Sunday, September 8th, beautiful, mostly sunny with a high of 75. Monday, partly sunny, a 30% chance of showers with a high of 73 degrees. That's Monday, September 9th. Tuesday, September 10th, mostly sunny with a high of 77 degrees. Wednesday, we warm up and become more humid. Wednesday, September 11th, mostly cloudy with a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms with our next front, high of 81 degrees. And Thursday, September 12th, high of 77 degrees under partly sunny skies and a chance of showers or thunderstorms. We check weather about hourly here on KUR, your news leader here in northeastern Berks County.
You're listening to the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR Kutztown. Welcome back to Kutztown Live. I'm your host, Aaron B., joined by my co-host,
Joshua Kaplan.
And we have a guest in here with us. We are joined by Autumn Colton, a longtime housing employee during her tenure here at Kutztown University. How are you, Autumn?
I'm good.
So, Autumn, we're having you on today to discuss student employment in general. Just because I didn't want to bring in some big wig from a department to talk about student employment here. I wanted to bring in a student. So, tell us what you do here, what you do for work, and how long you've been doing it for.
I am a desk receptionist currently at Beck Hall, but I've worked at South, Golden Bear, Village South, and Dietrich. So I've been in non-trad and traditional halls, and I've done it for this is my third year.
Third year, wow. Much longer than I lasted. I was a DR in Lehigh for a single semester. So props to you for sticking it out. So last week, Josh and I's show was for like freshmen and new students here to the university. We tried to talk about resources and everything for those new students. So as someone who works for housing, who arguably is the biggest department that deals with freshmen, how was move-in day this year?
It was pretty crowded. You have a lot of parents coming in and out, and freshmen, and just everyone that helps them move in.
Yeah, it was busy. Was it? How many move-in days have you done?
This was my third move-in year days. Yeah.
Yeah. Was this your first? No, this was your second move-in at a trad dorm.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I bet it was a full-on nightmare. But moving on to what I mainly brought you here to talk about is student employment. In your opinion, is there enough student employment opportunities here at Kutztown?
Opportunities, I would say yes, but as far as like how many students work, I would say that housing definitely needs more.
Housing definitely needs more.
Yeah.
Or is housing as a whole just understaffed?
Yeah, I would say like all the dorms need more DRs and such.
So you're saying we have ample student employment, but students not taking advantage of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Any reasons like come to the top of your head of like why housing is understaffed?
I would just say like, not many people would know about it or like know how to apply to it, I suppose.
Okay, that's fair. Do you think student employees here are underpaid? Because I know when I was a DR, I was making $7.50 an hour. 25 cents above the old federal minimum wage.
And it's still $7.50. I would say, looking at it as a whole, there's a lot of students that need to be employed. So like, altogether, it seems like a lot, but like for individual needs, it could be more.
That's fair. Is there any like wiggle room? Is when you're say you've been a desk receptionist for 3 years and you're still making the $7.50. There's no room for a raise unless you're moving on to a different job like a CA.
Yeah, no.
That's interesting. Do you think I've heard stories from people who work? I try to meet as many people as I can. And I've talked to a lot of people that have said their off-campus jobs are more accommodating to them than when they had on-campus jobs. What do you think about that?
I feel like housing knows that you're students and that it comes first to be a student. So they limit like your hours. Like you can only work like 60 hours during like a paycheck. But that can still be a lot. Like I've done 60 hours before and it's a lot to handle.
Yeah, 60 hours working as a student kind of sound like I genuinely can't imagine a worse fate to your academics and your grades. So, as a whole, would you recommend looking for a job on campus as a student?
I would say if you can't get a job, like if you don't have a car on campus, it would be a good opportunity. Like I like housing because you meet a lot of different people. I think it's really fun to meet different people. The job itself, but like not all jobs are fun. It's hard to find a fun job, but I think that it is a good opportunity for people, especially that want to get involved on campus, to join housing. It's a good way to meet people.
Certainly a good way. I remember being very close with everyone I worked in my hall with. So Autumn, I asked this last week as a closer to our guests, and I want to throw it to you. I want to throw the question to you again, just because you, since you do work in a trad dorm, you see a lot of freshmen, you meet a lot of freshmen, and have to interact with them. So I'd argue that people who work for housing in the trad dorms know the freshmen more and like what they're struggling with than most like faculty members here on campus. So, from your point of view, what is the best advice you could impart to freshmen here at Kutztown?
I really want to say just get involved. Like, if you're not, like, in a club or in doing anything on campus, it's really hard to meet a bunch of people. And faculty will say join clubs, but, like, they don't know the struggles that a lot of freshmen come to college. Like, they don't because that was such a long time ago. It was a different time when they were in college. Mm-hmm. So I think it's important to realize that times have changed and that you need to be able to get out there.
That's fair, yeah. I completely agree with that. Everyone's given solid advice so far for the freshmen. I was told some of the stuff when I first came here, but I wish I got more. Being a freshman's really overwhelming. But Autumn, thank you so much for coming on. You were really insightful about on-campus employment and everything, so thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, well, now we are going to head to a break until we come back, and Josh and I are going to discuss some things that are going on around campus. You're listening to the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR. Hope to see you after the break.
Since the early 70s, Friends Incorporated, located at 658 D Noble Street in Kutztown, has helped thousands of families in northeastern Berks County strengthen relationships with themselves and their community through a wide range of outreach services. Every family and individual is offered case management services, food pantry assistance, counseling, support groups, and program referrals. Contact Friend Incorporated at 610-683-7790. That's 610-683-7790. Or visit their website, www.friendinc.org. Friend Incorporated, helping our neighbors to strengthen our community.
It's Telescopic Topics, a look into the world above us.
Do you think the winters in Pennsylvania are bad? Imagine having to walk around campus in negative 353 degrees Fahrenheit. That's what it would be like if we lived in Neptune, the 8th planet from the Sun. Hi, I'm Justine Walensky, and I'm going to tell you about Neptune's atmosphere and the strange occurrences that happen within it. Neptune, being considerably further from the Sun than the Earth, has weather that is unlike any other planet. Even NASA isn't sure exactly what occurs there. But we do know that when the planet differentiated, it stayed a gaseous planet and the core froze to ice and rock. However, freezing cold temperatures and forming ice crystals are not the only strange occurrences of Neptune. The planet has a great dark spot. Once spotted back in 1989 on the Voyager 2 mission, the Great Dark Spot was located in the southern hemisphere. When looked at again through the Hubble telescope in 1994, the spot seemed to have moved to the northern hemisphere of Neptune. This spot measures the entire size of Earth, is made up of a methane ice cloud, and is an indicator of a massive, high-energy storm that dates back almost 400 years. As if ice-forming weather wasn't enough, lightning is also a probable occurrence. With the internal heat source and possible clouds of water existing on Neptune, it is believed that it has an incredible amount of lightning storms throughout the atmosphere. Now, you might be able to bundle up with the freezing temperatures, but with the wind moving at 1,500 miles per hour, you would be sure to be blown away. Neptune radiates almost 3 times as much energy as it receives from the Sun. This amount of radiation is not enough to warm the planet, but it is enough to help drive the fastest winds of the solar system. Doesn't that sound like a tough planet to live on? I guess Pennsylvania winters don't sound bad now, do they?
Telescopic Topics, a look into the world above us. Stay tuned to KUR for more Telescopic Topics. Telescopic Topics is a production of the KU Physical Sciences Department and is recorded by the KU astronomy students in the studios of KUR. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
You're listening to the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR Kutztown. Welcome back to Kutztown Live. I'm your host, Aaron B., joined by my co-host.
I'm Joshua Kaplan. And for this segment, we wanted to talk about some current breaking events right now going on at South Dining Hall. Some civil unrest amongst the campus. Do you want to tell what's going on?
Well, Josh, if you're familiar, if you've been a student here for, at least if you were here last year or even last semester, you know of the protesters, if you could call them that come to campus, like they come about once a semester, and they just stand outside of one of the buildings with their signs that have hate speech on them towards other people, specifically things that apply to students. And they just come out here, they yell at us, they attract quite a massive
crowd,
quite a big crowd every time. Like right outside of South, there's a hefty circle of students like surrounding these protesters, chanting at them and just trying to cause a problem for them.
Yeah, it's been an issue on campus. I think since earlier this morning, maybe
Yeah,
10
they've been
a.m.?
here like since like 10:30, 11, and to my knowledge, they're still there. They were still there when Josh and I came walking over from our apartment to come do the show. Actually,
Yeah, we saw that.
we got to
Go
walk
on.
right through the eye of the storm.
Yeah.
Actually,
Which is a the eye of the storm is usually calm. That was not calm.
yeah, that's actually that's
Yeah,
that's
that was
fair.
that was
Maybe
far
I did
from calm.
Yeah, but you know they come here. I forget the exact group that they're from. Not that I want to give them any any notoriety.
outreach or anything, yeah.
I don't want to advertise for them, but they come from, to my knowledge, it's like a Baptist. It's a Baptist group that they come out here. That they have their signs that if we don't repent, if we're sinners and we're not pure to them, but they come, they yell, they cause a problem, they upset the students, and a lot of students just don't understand why they're allowed on campus.
Yeah, it's basically a topic of free speech. They are technically defended by the First Amendment and
the darn Bill of Rights.
Yeah, so they are allowed on campus, but they, in our opinion, they should not be. I feel that way.
Yeah, they definitely do come here to cause a problem.
Just to incite an issue with no specific purpose that we can see.
Oh yeah, Josh and I actually last semester we actively participated in the large circle that was surrounding them.
We were heavily participating. Against them.
I was, we were curious, like what their actual motive is here on campus. Like, what do they come here trying to accomplish? Because it's not clear at all, and quite frankly, I don't think they've ever accomplished anything but just getting yelled at and having things thrown at them when they come on campus.
Even if you specifically ask them what their purpose is, they do not tell you. They will just yell.
Or they'll just give you a different answer every time.
Yeah.
But when they come here, they're always protected by a line of public safety officers, police tape, the whole 9 yards. They're protected because if any of the students, got a little too rambunctious or something and ended up actually laying their hands on them, they have the right to sue the school, to my knowledge. That's because I actually got to speak to one of the public safety officers who was guarding them last semester. And the public safety officer was like, none of us are happy about it. Like, we don't want to protect these people, but the school can get in a lot of trouble if anything happens to them. So, unfortunately, our public safety has to be drawn away from it, like helping actual problems here on campus, to have to guard these people.
Yeah, like they'll probably tell you, if you ask the public safety officers, they don't agree with the values I mean, I'm not speaking for all of them, but to my knowledge, they do not agree with the values of the protesters. They are just there doing their jobs as they have to.
Yeah, something I actually specifically remember from last semester is one of the protesters had a sign that just said, "Women belong in the kitchen."
It was actually the female protester there.
Yeah, and she was being defended. Like, what the public safety officer assigned to her was a female public safety officer, as she was holding the sign that all women belong in the kitchen. It was quite the sight to see.
There's a lot of hypocrisy there being thrown around with them.
Yeah, and they come here and they cause a problem every semester, and I think I genuinely just think the students are tired of it.
Yeah.
They come, they cause an issue. We've seen people like just break down into tears because of the things that the protesters say to them. It's just a sad, unfortunate thing that we thought that we should just shine some light on and talk about here on the show. Do you have anything else to say about it, Josh?
Just while it may seem enticing to fight back or argue, it's not worth it. The best thing to do is to ignore them. They get what they want by getting students to yell back, and their goal really is to incite anger, possible violence, and really the best thing to do is ignore them, look away. And while that's not quite happening, there is as we saw walking over here, there is a hefty crowd out there. Hopefully in the future they will stop appearing if they get ignored.
Yeah, Josh, you made an actual great point that I meant to touch on, that when we ignore them, we don't give them any like fuel. Like they won't want to come back here if they're just ignored, if they don't get the rise out of students that they want. And that's the best advice that we could give to the students here on campus, is just to ignore them. They're not worth it.
Even the joking like anti-protest at them, like I saw some signs like the Krusty Krab is unfair.
Yeah.
That does draw in a crowd, and that brings attention to them. It starts the anger, and then more people keep coming and coming until the crowd becomes what it is and what it usually becomes.
Yeah, as much fun as it is to make those signs, have fun, yell at them, like with them, it's fun, but it's not constructive.
Yeah, they are a genuine issue, I believe.
They are.
That we aren't inviting, but the only way to keep them away is to not. We are in a way encouraging, and the only way to get them to stop, like they should, is to pretend they don't exist, essentially.
Yeah, good point. Well, for now, we're going to throw it to a break until we come back for our last little segment. You are listening to the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR. We hope to see you after the break.
Views or opinions expressed on KUR are not necessarily those of Kutztown University, Kutztown University Student Government, Kutztown University Student Services Incorporated, KUR staff and management, or other affiliated organizations.
Hey there, Golden Bears. Eric,
Allie, and Sam
from the Career Development Center, here to let you in on a big sale happening soon. If you're in the need for some professional outfits, aren't we all, then head on over to the JCPenney in the Lehigh Valley Mall on Sunday, September 15th from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. The store will be open to KU students, alum, faculty, staff, and family. 60% off selected men and women's professional attire and accessories. You can even sign up for a shuttle if you don't have a ride. Just drop on by Stratton 113 to reserve your spot. See you there.
Hey KU, it's Sam,
Eric,
and Allie, here again from the Career Development Center. Mock interview mania is around the corner, and now's your chance to practice your interview skills with a volunteer interviewer. You might look great on paper, but how you interview is the true test. Remember, good interviewing is a skill. Sign up on Handshake now for a spot. Dates are September 16th through September 19th. But be quick, this popular event fills up quickly.
Checking KU headlines, Kutztown University has been featured as one of the best in the Northeast by the Princeton Review for 2020. The education services company is widely known for its test prep programs and college and graduate school guides. KU is among 224 institutions named to the regional list and has been named to the list more than a dozen times in the last 20 years. The Best in the Northeast list is compiled via drawing upon information from surveys taken by students and administrators. News comes hourly on your news leader here in northeastern Berks County, KUR.
Follow KUR, an award-winning radio station, on Twitter to receive exciting daily content delivered straight to your newsfeed. You'll discover diverse music, breaking news, and engaging student DJ content. Visit twitter.com/KU Radio to tweet along. Remember to use hashtag KU Radio on social media. We are the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR.
You're listening to the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR Kutztown. Welcome back to Kutztown Live. I'm your host, Aaron B., joined by my co-host,
Joshua Kaplan.
And to start off our last little segment, just because we have listeners to KUR from all over the country, even all over the world, we with this big, huge hurricane Dorian tearing its way through the southeast, we just wanted to say that we hope that everyone down there, especially our listeners, is doing well, and our thoughts and prayers going out to everyone down there who may be affected by the hurricane. But we're going to move on to talk about some things that are coming up that are interesting on campus. Unfortunately, our show wasn't earlier this week, so we could mention the involvement fair that the school puts on every semester that we were KUR was actually at. We're always there. And fun fact, actually, that is how Josh and I got recruited to KUR, was through the involvement fair.
Yeah, I believe it was DJ Vinny P working at the involvement fair when we were there.
It was actually. We walked up to the booth. We were grabbing by. We
saw the very intimidating board, and that was tantalizing.
We saw. Yeah, they had out the mobile DJ board. And we looked at it and we were like, wow, that looks complicated. Let's go learn that. That looks fun. And Vinny P, who's if you know us, has become a great friend of ours, was actually the one who recruited us into the program, and I don't think we've looked back since.
Yeah,
I think we've been having a good time.
Yeah, we have. We've been having a good time.
It hasn't been bad, but we have some good things happening soon on campus that we just wanted to go over real quick. Like next weekend, Saturday, or actually this weekend. My bad. Tomorrow is the College Fest down in Philly, which is a thing that they do in Center City where students get to come in, and for $5 they actually get to go in to go see all the big museums that are in the city, like the art museum and all that. And it's a really cool thing that the city does for all of the universities that are in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, all surrounding. And, if I wasn't busy, I would totally go down. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Isn't the first football game of the season is tomorrow, or is that
That is tomorrow. Our first home game of the season starts tomorrow. And don't worry, KUR's got it covered with our brand new sports team, since unfortunately the main man Connor High has graduated, but he's doing well. He's now working at a station in Philly. Proud of him. But make sure for the football game tomorrow, you guys are listening to the best coverage that you could possibly get from the game, which is through the ever lovely Kutztown University Radio.
Unless you can actually make it to the game, then in that case, I'd say go to the game.
If you can make it to the game, definitely go. I know I'll be there.
I'll probably be there.
Probably.
Yeah, most likely.
You're not sure if you want to come out and support the school?
I certainly do want to come out and support the Golden Bears, but I may be home in the ever so wonderful Berks County, Pennsylvania.
Oh, love Berks County, Pennsylvania. But one more thing that I wanted to cover in this last little segment is the upcoming Michael Jackson Laser Light Show, which is happening next week down in Grimm, the observatory. I've actually never gotten to go to one of these laser light shows. I think they put on about like one a semester.
I'm thinking we should make an appearance there.
I think we should too. They had really cool ones last year. They had a Pink Floyd one.
Yeah. And then there was another one.
Stranger Things.
Yeah.
They did a Stranger Things themed one, which sounded really cool. But whether it was like work or class or something, I didn't get to make them. So we'll see if we can make it to this MJ Laser Light Show.
Yeah. We'll see what we can do there.
Well, we've had a busy show here on Kutztown Live today. And I think it's about time we sign off for the day. Anything else left to say from you, Josh?
I don't believe so. I think I've said all I need to say here tonight.
He's saying he's winded.
I'm winded, yeah. And I'm going to be on. I'm so winded that I'm coming back to the studio from 6 to 7 tonight to play everyone's favorite dead artists. I believe tonight is going to be a Woodstock type show.
Woodstock themed. Wasn't Woodstock's 50th anniversary like a couple weeks ago?
I believe it was, yeah. And I was not there. I wasn't at any of the Woodstocks, actually. I was not at the one in 1969 or the one in whatever 25 years later was. I don't do math.
I won't lie to you, I wasn't there either.
I thought you were.
I was not, but if you're going to self-promo, unfortunately, Undeclared, Monday 6 to 7s, was not on this week due to the Labor Day holiday, and the building that the studio is in was closed. But make sure you listen in on Monday, 6 to 7, right here on the radio voice of Kutztown University, KUR, for Undeclared. Don't worry, it's not a special episode or anything. It's just me doing my thing.
Also check in Monday night for Split Wires with our producer, Kelby Brightfeller. Which, what time is it at? It's 11 to 12, I believe?
10 to midnight.
Okay.
Oh, where did you come from?
Hi, I'm just hiding over here.
Well, that's all we have for the show today, folks. Thank you so much for listening. We hope to see you here next week for all that is going on at Kutztown University and the most agreeable town of Kutztown, Pennsylvania. This is your host, Aaron B., signing off.
Good night, everybody. Joshua Kaplan signing off as well.